Hello YouTube, this is Gen24 Jr. back at it with Guilty Spark 343 Part 2. Picking up basically right after where we left off. Hoping to finish it in this part, if not... Well, I took a good chunk of my shield trying to take care of those. A good like 7 hits to take one Flood combat form down. I guess I have to go down there. Okay, looks like this area is cleared. On to the next. But anyway, last part, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, but just a quick rundown of what we've encountered so far. Covenant with no elites, just, you know, jackals and grunts. Not normal. And then we find a marine that's scared. We watch what happened to him. We encountered him. We went a little further down in this place. And then we encountered where a downed marine's helmet. We watch the playback on what happened with that marine. To come to find out, he's more likely been killed and turned into a Flood combat form. Ah, I see. Jeez, Flood, we aren't playing the Ring Around the Rosie, but is meleeing the more efficient way of taking them out? No. Oh, here we go. Here's a good these jackals and marines figured it was best to work together with their enemy than to get basically killed / assimilated by the Flood. Did it work out? No. But it's a nice detail with this mission. That basically tells you the threat of the Flood. Where two basically really big enemies that really don't like each other will work together. against a combined enemy like the Flood. Okay, now time to figure out where to go from here. Looks like the only way is this way. To the unlocked door we go. Okay, and onward we go. Did I go the wrong way? I went that way. No, looks like... Because we came from that way, which that way is closed and locked up now. Weird. Okay. The way forward is this way. Activate air bridge. You know, the more simple answer that I did not think to look. Yeah, because you don't expect a thing that's basically endless, like a flood. Pop goes the balloon. Just trying to remember how to get to that tower. Follow the blue lights, I guess.
Covering fire! Nice shot! Unbelievable! Be careful, this is gonna get messy! Oh!
Oh, there's the tower.
I'm hit! Now in session! Come back to class so I can school you again! Alright! Alright! Is it the best you can do? You're all dead! I had a shot! Those things just don't die!
But
Killed him, man! Watch your fire!
there you go.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark.
343 Guilty Spark. I keep saying Guilty Spark
Someone
343.
has released the flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
Chief, I've lost your signal. Where'd you go? Chief! Chief!
Okay. That's it for Guilty Spark 343 mission. I want to just talk about a little bit about the mission before I leave for this part. 343 Guilty Spark. It introduces one of the most disturbing, creepy, and terrifying enemies of the Halo universe itself when it comes to the games. And you may think, oh, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. Look into the lore, read up on what the Flood can actually do. We'll see more of them as we play. They are scary. They are essentially a parasitic, hive mind based enemy. And basically they are, you've got infection forms like the little tiny things we fought, and you've got the combat forms, which were the Marines and the elite, grotesque, infected looking forms. Those were your combat forms. You can see, I think at one point, either in the first part or the second part, when I got smacked by one, it wasn't no love tap. That was they're strong. It basically takes the form that it's controlling and uninhibits its strength. So basically it uses the form it's controlling's full actual capability of strength without worrying about damaging itself. And we'll see more forms later on in the game we play, but those are just the first two forms that we've encountered. It's just not fun. And there are other things that probably were missed, but there was in the first part, I don't know if I've ever was able to capture it or see it, but as you're walking in the forest before you get to the installation and encounter the Covenant and stuff, you'll see little, like on the minimap, you'll see little yellow spots, like friendly looking spots as you walk around. Which, if you actually look at them, there's no Marines there. You don't hear Marines as you're walking around. And as I've already mentioned it, there was no elites. When it comes to combat forms, like, they'll take them, but they're not preferred combat forms. They try to take what the stronger selection possible when it comes to combat forms. They can take grunts, jackals. They'll take the weaker things. It's just not preferred for that group. But mostly what they care about is the biomass of anything. So they'll take stuff that are dead, but the stuff that's dead will just be turned into biomass, which we won't see anything really done with the biomass until a little later in the campaign. And I think in Halo 3, pretty sure it's Halo 3, we'll encounter a new form that is to do with the biomass. But for now, when it comes to just Halo 1 and just talking about 343 Guilty Spark, it's a fun mission all in all. It's kind of scary once you think of the vibes and stuff, how we encountered Covenant. They didn't really focus on us when we entered the room. They focused on the Flood, and then us, once they killed off all the Flood, or once all the Flood was killed off. And then there was the part where both Marines and Jackals were, instead of fighting each other, they fought. It seemed like a last stand to kill off as many Flood as possible before they died. And another thing is, you'll notice that in the first part, I was jumping and looking at the window through those little windows in the doors, and you'll see there was at times that there wasn't anything in those rooms, and then we'll go back over by, and there'll be things in those rooms. And it's just interesting. It's just those little details in this mission that once you start looking at the little details, the more harrowing and the more scary it gets. Like, when in the first part, Chief chipped into the recordings of one of the Marines' helmets, recorder things. Can't remember what they're actually called right now. But we go back, it's like a VHS type horror thing. So that plays into more of a more horror based thing. It just shows in a way, just adds into the scare factor of the Flood, because you look at the Flood themselves and you've got tiny little walking infection forms. Aren't that bad. They swarm you, they can get bad, but they're easy to kill. Pop like a bubble. At least for Chief, it's just like one smack, they pop. The infection forms, the combat forms themselves, I think you saw, I think I injured that one a little bit, took off its arm, but I hit that thing like 7 times, I think, with a melee, and it did not die. So that tells you those things are durable as all can be. The shotgun, on the other hand, that was what took them down the easiest. That's why I kind of hesitated for a moment to take it or not, because it kind of makes the mission a little easier. But I also at the same time wanted to add variety to the weapons I've been using so far. I could have taken a plasma pistol, I could have taken a needler, but those are 2 guns I've already used. I already had the assault rifle. But the assault rifle is a good thing to spray and pray when it comes to the infection forms, because one bullet from an assault rifle will pop infection forms, and infection forms will sort of chain react. When it kills one, dies, any within a certain range from another will pop, and it will keep going as a chain reaction. So it's a good way to clear infection forms. But I think I've said enough about 343 Guilty Spark. So I will leave it off here for part 2. I will hope to see you in the next mission, the library. But between here and there will be another episode of Minecraft, and I will see you all later. This is Jin24 Jr. signing off.